Hiya, I'm here today to do my February favourites video. I've noticed a couple of these floating around YouTube at the minute, so I thought I'd get involved, something a bit different as opposed to me just doing hauls and wrap-ups all the time. So let's get stuck in. My first favourite's a podcast. I listen to podcasts quite a lot on the bus to work or when I'm walking anywhere. I just like that the shortish snippets of people chatting about interesting things. The one I want to point out today is called Buffering the Vampire Slayer. As the title suggests, this is to do with the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that I really love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I have done since I was a teenager. Me and Buffy are the same age, we were at school at the same time, and it's just fantastic. So, Buffering the Vampire Slayer, it is hosted by two women who are married to each other, and they are Jenny Owen Young, who is a singer-songwriter, and at the end of every episode she writes and performs a song that is a summary of that episode, which is bloody brilliant. And the other host is Kristin Russo. Is it? Yeah. Kristin Russo, who is an LGBTQ advocate, and she runs the websites everyoneisgay.com and yourkidisgay.com, I think it's called. mykidisgay.com, sorry. So they both, as I said, they're a married couple. They got together and thought that they would do this podcast. So the way it works is every week they will watch one episode of Buffy twice, and then they will talk through that episode. Sometimes they have guests on there and sometimes it's just them. But it's hilarious. They're both really funny and dead quick, and they break things down in every episode. One of them, I can't remember which one, but one of them has a bit of an obsession with Cordelia. They both have a thing for Angel, and they also have somebody that comes on every week and talks about the fashion, because obviously it's very 90s fashion in the beginning. They're only up to season 2 so far, but I've been rewatching anyway, because I tend to rewatch Buffy every year. So I'm rewatching and I'm also in line with them now I've caught up. If that sounds up your street, I will add the link below so you can go and have a listen. Next for me is TV. I watched the OA in about 2 days. Me and my partner binge watched it because we wanted to see where it was going. The story is, without giving too much away, a young girl who is kidnapped or goes missing. Nobody knows what happened to her. And she turns up 8 years later, I think it is, and she used to be blind, but now she has her eyesight. Her adoptive parents get her home, and she doesn't really talk to them or tell them what happened, but she does meet a few outsiders from the town that they live, and she asks them all to meet her in this abandoned house so that she can tell them what happened to her. So as the episodes go on, the story unfolds, and you find out what happened to her, and it's quite an unusual situation, and you also find out about what happened to her when she was a child, and that story sort of develops and grows, and you are, I guess, you don't know if you're listening to a reliable narrator, because this is all from her point of view. And I really enjoyed it. It's not like anything else I've seen on TV before. It's got a bit of what I would call magical realism in the story. And I just really enjoyed it. I found it extremely compelling. I know some people have seen it and said it was really pretentious, but I didn't find that at all. I really enjoyed it. So I will link that below. If you're interested in watching that, I'll just link to the IMDb page so you can see what it's like and who's in it. I also wanted to give a quick mention to the Santa Clarita Diet starring Drew Barrymore. That is another Netflix TV show that started recently. I wasn't expecting much. I just saw it come up in my suggestions and thought I'd give it a watch, and it's really funny. It's a housewife in suburban America, and she somehow ends up a zombie and she has to kill people to survive, and her husband's really supportive, and her daughter, I think it's a daughter, her daughter's really supportive, and it's about how they bimble through their perfect suburban lives and deal with this at the same time. Like I said, I wasn't really expecting much, but I found it really funny and light-hearted, and I think I needed something like that at the time. So again, I'll link that below. Next is film recommendation. I didn't watch many films last month, but one I did watch was called The Final Girls. It was about a group of teens who get transported into an 80s slasher flick. Woo! An 80s slasher flick, and they have to figure out what's going on and find their way out. And one of the people that gets transported into the film, her mum was the star of it, and she's passed away now, so it's about how she deals with that as well. So there's some very funny moments where they play on the overused tropes in horror films, like the non-virgins getting killed and that sort of thing. But then there's also really touching moments because the person who her mum played isn't actually her mum, so she doesn't know that that's her daughter, and her daughter's obviously feeling lots of feelings and has to interact with her. So it's really good. I thought, again, just something that I put on a whim, and I really enjoyed it. Next is tea. If you've watched my previous videos again, you will know that I love green tea, and it's pretty much the only tea that I drink apart from sleepy time tea that I drink at bedtime. So my favourite ever tea is this. It's called Imperial Green, and I get it from the China Life website. It's quite pricey. I think it's £8 for this, and it's loose, but it tastes absolutely amazing. It's so nice. It's sort of weird, grassy, smoky flavour. I've tried so many other teas to try and find one that tastes as good and is cheaper, but I just can't find it. So I buy this and I have sort of 1 cup a day and try and sort of stretch it out so that I always have some, and then intersperse it with the cheaper green tea as well. My favourite animal in February is Esther the Wonder Pig. If anybody hasn't seen Esther the Wonder Pig's Instagram, please go and have a look. She was adopted by a family. She was meant to be a micro pig, and it turned out she was absolutely massive. But these people decided to keep her, and they fell in love with her, and as a result of the relationship and the bond that they made with Esther, they have all now gone vegan. Now, the channel isn't all about veganism and trying to push you that way. It's basically a lot of posts and videos of Esther going about her day and wandering around or wearing wigs or just opening the fridge and trying to get food out. It's a really good, heartwarming story, and if I'm feeling a bit down in the dumps or there's too much negativity going on in my newsfeed, I know I can go on Esther the Wonder Pig's Instagram and it instantly cheers me up. Again, I'll leave the link down below. Finally, best book and best graphic novel for February. I think my best book is The Stars Are Legion by KAMERON HURLEY. I spoke about that in my February wrap-up, of which I'll link down below, and if I can figure out how to do it, I'll link it up here, but I haven't figured that out yet. But it's a really enjoyable book. It's got an ick factor in it. An all-lesbian crew are in there. An all-lesbian crew? No. It's a journey story through this living ship, and there's war and conspiracy, and you only know things from 2 people's points of views, so you never know the full story. And graphic novel, again, I mentioned in my February wrap-up, that is Beauty Volume 2. Volume 2 is a standalone story that doesn't include any characters from the first volume. However, it is continuing along the theme of people trying to catch the beauty and then dying horribly. This is kind of a sideline, as it follows the life of a trans woman of colour assassin, and where she's heading and something that's happened to her. I don't want to give too much away, but really good story, and I'm excited for Volume 3 to come out. Okay, so that is my February favourites. Let me know if you've watched or seen or used any of these, and if you have, let me know what you think. What are your February favourites? I'm always interested to hear, because it gives me more new things to find and see and watch and listen to, so let me know please in the comments down below. Let's have a chat about it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll be back again in another couple of days with another video. Okay? Big hugs. Bye! Just wanted to quickly show you just how unbelievably cute Juggernaut is when he's asleep. I've left my pyjamas in the corner and he's just tucked himself up and gone to sleep next to the heater. There we go. Whoa.